Assalamualaikum Sheikh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياك الله. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine Sheikh. And you, how are you?
ما شاء الله الحمد لله. جزاك الله خيرا وبارك الله فيك. حياكم الله.
كيف حالكم يا Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah. All good. What about you brothers? They are out there ما شاء الله.
Alhamdulillah. أنا بخير كذلك يا شيخ. أنا كما في العادة يا شيخ أنا أتكلم باللغة العربية دائما هكذا.
ما شاء الله. أيوة تفضل تفضل.
نعم إن شاء الله الآن نحن عندنا برنامج ربما هذا فيه فرق كبير لأن الذي يبث هذا البرنامج مباشرة من IOU International. طيب الحمد لله. إذن ليس فقط من إندونيسيين حتى خارج البلاد الإندونيسية هناك من يشاهدوننا الآن. الحمد لله.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. هذا أمر طيب وجميل ما شاء الله، وأنت تفرحني، وهذا الذي نريد أن يكون العدد أكبر ونستفيد أكثر ويكون الأجر أكثر ونشارك في الأجر جميعا.
الحمد لله. نعم إن شاء الله. بارك الله في علومكم يا شيخ.
آمين آمين. وإياكم يا أخي وإياكم.
الدول التي تشترك بهذا البرنامج كثير، مثل من ألمانيا كذلك موجودة يا شيخ، ومن السعودية، من المملكة العربية السعودية كذلك موجود، وكذلك من ماليزيا، طبعا من إندونيسيا كذلك، وغير ذلك من الدول.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. الحمد لله يا أخي.
طيب الآن أنا سأرحب المشاهدين أولا شيخ، ثم بعد ذلك سنبدأ.
أبشر.
طيب الحمد لله. طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بالهدى إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, brother, sister, this is so very honorable for me to become a host to this event. Alhamdulillah, we are now with Shaikh Dr. Anwar Sahib. As you know, the Shaikh is gained admission to Medina University at the age of 14. Where after completing his school, he completed his BA in Islamic Studies as well as his Master's and PhD in Quranic Sciences, of course, from Medina University. And Dr. Anwar also is the Imam of Masjid At-Taqwa as well as founder, member, and chairman of this parent body, At-Taqwa Trust. He is also the president of the Federation of Muslim Scholars of New Zealand and lectures in Islamic law at the International Open University, where he is the dean of its Islamic Studies Faculty. Alhamdulillah. And the Shaykh has the following academic works to this credit. Firstly, لمحات حول تاريخ جزر فيجي وأديانها. It means a brief history of the Fiji Islands and its religion. Also, halal and haram food. And then, Mawarid Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani fi ulum al-Quran min kitab Fath al-Bari. It means sources of Quranic science used by Imam Ibn Hajar in his commentary on Sahih al-Bukhari. And the other book, critical edition of Imam Ibn al-Mibrad, Hidayatul Insan ila Istighna bil Quran, or it means mankind's guide to sufficing with the Quran. Alhamdulillah, from its information, we know that Shaykh Anwar Sahib is the scholar, is our scholars, and we feel the proud can learn with Shaykh Anwar Sahib. Let's get started this event. طيب الحمد لله. أيها الشيخ الغالي، ربما تستطيع أن تبدأ المحاضرة الآن إن شاء الله تحت العنوان الحياة الزوجية. marriage life.
ما شاء الله.
ما شاء الله. بارك الله
بارك
فيكم يا شيخ. ما شاء الله.
حياك.
نحن الآن ما شاء الله في حماسة جدا يا شيخ في استماع محاضرتكم يا شيخ.
بارك الله فيكم وأنا متحمس لإسماعكم. بارك الله فيكم.
ما شاء الله. الحمد لله ما شاء الله. أنا نعم يرى من وجهكم ما شاء الله من وجهكم كريم أنك ما شاء الله تفرح معنا الآن.
Hey, barakallah fikum, because you know the topic is interesting. It's all about getting married, and everybody wants to be married.
Of course, yes, of course. We very need this term, ya Sheikh.
Are you married?
Yes, of course. I have three children.
MashaAllah, you have 3 wives. That's very good.
Children, sir, children. أرجو أن هذا الكلمة يكون دعاء لي إن شاء الله.
بارك الله فيكم. حياكم الله. الله يبارك فيكم.
فليتفضل. نعم الحمد لله. فليتفضل مشكورا يا شيخ لعل المشاهدين ينتظرونكم.
نعم.
بارك الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما وبعد. To my beloved brothers and sisters all over the world, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Taqabbalallah minna wa minkum salih al-a'mal. Ameen. Barakallah fikum. As you know that this topic is very, very exciting topic, and this is related to an-nikah. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام النكاح من سنتي فمن رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. That the sunnah is the way of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. That is sunnah, that is his manhaj, that is his tariqah, that is the way of life and living. And those who do not want to take to it, then he or she is not from him. Now, what we are going to talk about today in this course, I'm going to divide it in different sections. So for today, the topic is اختيار الزوج والزوجة, choosing a husband and choosing a wife. Now, this is first. Then after that, of course, we will talk about حق الزوجة, the rights of a wife. After that, it will be حق الزوج, the rights of a husband. These are the separate ones. Today, we are only going to talk about choosing stuff. Then we are going to talk about Kitab al-Nikah, the marriage, and all these associated Masai issues, creeds, theologies, decrees related to that. Nikah, and then will come wal-'iyadhu billah, talaq, and kula and things, and then tarbiyat al-awlad and al-habana. Right? So all of these things, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, we are going to take in separate courses. Now, these courses are, believe me, very, very important for all of us. And I encourage you, after you listen it, go and relate it to others, narrate it to others, and also encourage them to come next time and be with us. Wa barakallahu fikum. Also, remember, once you take it, try to make notes. I taught in IOU, and those lectures are still recorded in Fiqh al-Usr, where I gave a lot of tips related to when the type of nikah and all those kind of things. And some of the feedback which I got from it were very interesting. Now, when I recorded those lectures probably 10 years ago, you know who benefited from it most? Me. Because when you teach something, when you tell someone something, you try to reconnect yourself to it, okay? Yes. Now, when I say the topic for today is اختيار الزوج والزوجة, choosing a husband or wife. Of course, a woman will choose a husband and a man will choose a wife. Many times we overlook something very important. If I ask you which is more important, choosing a wife or choosing a husband, did you ever think of it in your life like this before? That which one of the two is more important, choosing a wife or choosing a husband? You can answer it. I know you people are doing the chat, so which I can't see, but you can be brave enough there to answer. Which of the two is more important? I repeat, choosing a wife or choosing a husband? The answer is choosing a wife. Oh, no. Choosing a husband. Why? You see, we are so much focused on I have to get this wife. The wife has to look like Lady Diana, and she has to be Iman in like Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha. She has to have the influence and the wealth like Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, and this and that, you know. We are so much focused on that we forget that choosing a husband is more important than choosing a wife. Of course, the wife is chosen by a husband, and the husband chooses a wife. Why is it now choosing a wife is more, choosing a husband is more important than choosing a wife? It's natural. الرجال قوامون على النساء. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made men, given them upper hand. They are the managers over the women, managers. Allah has made us physically different from women. We are made to manage females, made to control them in a certain way, not in an un-Islamic way. No, absolutely not. We know it all. All the prophets were from men. The Imam is always a man. All of these things. So you'll see, which means physically, normally, exceptional is in limited cases, normal it is that the man controls. So if that man is not good, what is going to happen to the sister? It is easy. If you fail in choosing a wife, talaq, anti talik, khalas, divorced. Can a woman say, anta talik ya rajul, khalas ana rahi bayti? You are divorced woman, I'm going to my home. No, you can't do that. You have to go through the process. Your failure as a wife, because your husband is not good, you probably would suffer more compared to if the wife is not good and the husband is to divorce the wife. So that's why choosing a husband is more important than choosing a wife only in this sense. Otherwise, it's important for both, in both cases, choosing someone appropriate. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this ajib relationship, something which is so captivating, a relationship which there is no other relationship like that. Allah has made it an ayah. Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nasu taqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida wa khalaqa minha zawjaha wa batha minhuma rijalan kathiran wa nisaa. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. You know, Allah has made it that Allah has created for us. We are created from one nafs, Adam. And Allah has created wives for us from that same person, right? Allah has made it husband and wife, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Subhanallah. When you get married as husband and wife, you know, you find لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا sukun, tranquility, that kind of peace. You know, whatever happens outside in the world, wallahi, if you come home and you have this kind of wife or you have this kind of husband where you don't have any issues, you don't have any problem, whatever is outside world, you will so quickly forget when the two of you come together. You see, but if it is the other way around, regardless of whatever peace and tranquility of this world is, it is as if it is not there for you. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ, in between the two of you, love, mawadda, and waja'ala bainakum mawadda wa rahma, and rahma, the message between the two. So these three ingredients, if any one of them is missing, it is a recipe of failure of a marriage. Even the relationship with parents or children or siblings or others, it is nowhere near to the type of relationship between husband and wife. It is ajib. Ajibun. Lizalika, when Allah has made us naturally being attracted to women, and women are made naturally attracted to men, the hormones of men, the physical appearance of a man, the type of skin and the nature and the structure and the way the mind works and the way he reacts, the way he may talk, the way he may think, the way he wants stuff is most of the time different from the way the wife thinks. And that's why there is a harmony, because the two of them will differ. If the wife becomes like a husband, that is disaster, kalas. A wife has to be a wife. She has to be a woman. You are a woman, anti imra'a. You have to act like a woman so that your husband can be with you. Aywallah, this is truth. So this is what you see. Subhanallah, barakallahu feekum. Men and women are different. Allah has created in this way different. So we are attracted to each other like flies are attracted to light, or ants attracted to sugar. You know that way? Barakallahu feekum. You people are smart. I know you people understand what I'm saying. Jazakumullah khairan. Now also remember one thing, right? I will give you one example. Islam does not and did not refute muhabba, love. Did not reject attraction, because it is there. Islam cannot reject anything which is there. It is there. It is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, Mughith wa Barira, radiallahu ta'ala anhuma. You know who they are? They were Sahabas. Both of them were slaves. They were husband and wife. Barira was married to her husband, Mughith. Sha'Allahumma Khan, one day, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she emancipated Barira, she freed her, she bought her off. So now she became a free woman. When she became free, now she does not want to be married to her husband anymore. He's a slave. So she requested divorce, talaq. Mughith is in love with her, his wife. He does not want to divorce her. The case is presented to Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. Mughith comes and he tells his story to him. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, he goes to Barira and says, you know, Barira, why don't you reconsider your husband again? Why don't you take him back? She asked, Ya Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, is it that you are ordering me? If it is, I will. But if it is not, then I don't want. Then Rasulullah said, yeah, no, it's just intercession, Shifa. You know, she said, Ya Rasulullah, then I don't want to be married to him anymore. Mughith used to follow her because she is still his wife, trying to win her back. He lost her. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, you know what he said? Lam yura lil mutahabbayni mithlu nikah. Lam yura lil mutahabbayni mithlu nikah. There is nothing better seen for the two in love than the nikah, marriage, meaning that it should blossom through marriage. And muhabba will blossom through marriage, which can never be in any other way. Because this is halal and other things are not halal, haram. So much it is. And if so much depends in our life because of this wife or because of this husband, then naturally Islam has guided you, gave you tips on how to choose your spouse. And we will talk a little bit about this also, inshallah. Of course, this is what we are talking about, right? Choosing a wife or a husband. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, tunkahul mar'a li arba' li maliha wa li jamaliha wa li diniha wa li hasabiha fathir bi dhati din taribat yadak. People that choose wives, a woman to become his wife, normally for one of the four. For her faith, for her beauty, for her wealth, for her status. The basis on which you should be making your choice is a deen, religion. Now this applies both ways, right? Vice versa, it applies both ways, remember. So when it comes to deen, now all of these four factors, if you find in a woman or a husband, mashallah. But the priority, the main basis of your choice should be deen. Not because her beauty, she is figure tall or something, sorry, if I, you know, Allah understand. I mean, somebody you good looking or a man who has got six pack and not one pack like ours, you know, or something like this, you know. No. Fine if he has one pack or whatever packs, you know. But the thing is that the main thing should be the deen. So when it comes to the deen, when it comes to religion, when it comes to faith, we see it in two categories. The first one is all about al-Islam, meaning that the woman or should be a Muslim. Priority being given preference to a Muslim sister, meaning that though you are allowed to get married to a Kitabiya, a Yahudiya, or a Nasraniya, a Jew or a Christian woman, chaste woman, wal muhsanat min alladhina utul kitab, right? But getting married to a Muslimah is better for many reasons. Unfortunately, time is not with me permitting that I can go in details of these things. And I have seen enough of problems in this Western world in which we are living, as I am in New Zealand, that when a man, out of whatever reasons, he gets married to a Christian here, when problem happens, especially when there are children between them, the issue of custody, and if the divorce is there, then who will take the children? And will they be brought up Islamically or as they choose? Or at times, if she's a Christian and is still with him, then the problem still is there related to bringing him up or her in a way which pleases Allah, because this woman, he doesn't know anything about Islam. She has chosen not to be a Muslim, and yet you need to teach her, and she has no knowledge. How will they be brought up Islamically if she doesn't know? So you see, these kind of problems happens all the time. So first one related to Islam, the second one is related to the deen in the sense that she is a practicing Muslim. Prays 5 times a day and all these things. It's not only women, remember in this, men are also inclusive of that. That you choose, you must, basics, minimum basics are there. Minimum basics are there. For example, one person prays 5 times a day, fasts a month of Ramadan, and does whatever little or a lot he can do for Islam. But financially, he is not so, you know, strong compared to another one. But the other one is only Muslim, Jum'ah Muslim. Of course, you cannot consider that person at all. Now, when talking about deen, there is one problem, especially when the young brothers and at times sisters, when they get excited, they think that they are the only ones who are the good Muslims. You know what they do? They started to choose a husband and wife for themselves. And they want a wife who is like Khadija and Fatima and Aisha. Yeah, okay, first you have to know that are you Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman? That you want your wife to be like them? Of course you cannot. You are not like Abu Bakr. So you should be practical about it. Practical in the sense where you are, in which country. Okay, if you are in a Muslim country like Indonesia, mashallah, I know heaps of sisters, well-educated, Islamically, good basic background of Islamic knowledge, and practicing Muslim, train 5 times a day in hijab and niqab. It's easy to find one in Indonesia. But it may not be the case in places like New Zealand, for example. So you may have to consider those kind of things also at times. So, meaning that even when it comes to deen, of course, if you get someone who is way above what is your requirement, that is even better. But don't focus in that and lose the train, meaning that you are 20 years old and you are looking for someone like that suitable to get married, and all of a sudden you find that you are 40 years old and you are still looking for that wife. She may never come, believe me. So this is something very important. This is where you start with al-mar'atu salihah. You know, because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, al-zawja as-salihah, a religious woman, is shatru din, half the deen, you know. Man wajada imra'atan salihah faqad istakmala nisfa dinihi falyattaqillaha fi nisfi thani. If you find a religious wife for yourself, your half deen is complete. Now you have to focus on the other half. You see the importance of that, and same applies to a sister also. If you get a suitable religious husband, mashallah, your half the deen is there, you go, mashallah. You only have to work on the other half. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, إن جاءكم من ترضون دينه وخلقه فزوجوه إلا تفعلوا تكن فتنة في الأرض وفساد عريض. If someone comes and proposes, whose deen you accept, and his khuluq, his akhlaq you accept, زوجوه, then let them get married. Because this is all you should be looking for and focusing on. Which if you don't, then there will be lots of fitan and trials and tribulations in this world. Now, Rasulullah ﷺ mentioned 2 things, and they are very important, essential part of choosing a husband or wife. Deen and khuluq. He made it come together. There's a reason for that. Some of us, mashallah, we may pray 5 times a day, we do everything, most of the time we are in the masjid. You smile on brothers, you hug, you do salam, you do everything, right? But the moment you go home, you step inside the house, everybody is shivering out of fear. The lion has entered his den. No, you should not be like that. You should have akhlaq, nice manners. You should have patience. You should have humility, humbleness, rahmah. Be nice and kind and treat your wife nicely and kindly. Now, the other thing is, of course, choosing someone based on the wealth. Fine, if somebody wants to do that, there's nothing wrong with it. But the most important focus should be on deen, which means that if you are going to sacrifice or overlook things which is displeasing to Allah just because that person has got wealth, forget about it. This should not be the basis of choosing someone. Among those things, al-hasab, family background. What kind of family background? And these things are okay. If somebody has a bad background, but that person himself or her is a good one, there is nothing wrong in getting married to her. But if you find in a background of families which is of more stable family background, known for their nobility, then it is a bonus. Now, choosing, this is the catchy one, right? Because of beauty. It's only natural that we love things which are beautiful. And we naturally get attracted to it. And especially if that is a woman or a man, the opposite genders. It's only natural. Inna Allah jamilun yuhibbul jamal. Allah is beautiful and Allah loves things which are beautiful. You see all the prophets, how beautiful they were. Alayhimu salatu wassalam. But Allah has created us in different levels of beauty. Something which may be beautiful to you may not be to the other. Something another person is attracted to, for you, you find that that is just normal and average. You know, each one of us, when you were young, I'm still young, mashallah, you know, this just you put a bit of powder, it becomes white, mashallah. The thing is that we all had a dream before we got married, right? That I want my wife to be this figure, this color skin, this looking beautiful, this like this. So if there are celebrities which you know in your lifetime, so you think that she should be looking something like that. And the same applies to the sisters, right? Oh, my husband has to be someone like this and this kind of figure and this kind of muscles and all these things, whatever it is, you know. It's only natural for these kind of things to be, but don't overdo it. There has to be some form of similarities between the two of you. So for example, if you are average, beautiful, you don't want someone whose beauty is like a model beauty to be your wife. It may not last forever. So you want someone within your capacity, within your limits. It's very important. We forget at times, we only look at what we want, but we forget that the other person whom you want, maybe she also wants something as high as what you are thinking of, and you are nowhere near to that. So that is something balancing when choosing a wife. Even in beauty, it's important. Even in wealth. So if you are average, you don't go and look for some woman as a wife who is filthy rich. She got used to a life which you will not be able to provide. And this is going to, in the time of hardships and differences, this is going to come between you and her. And this may destroy your marriage. Also among those things, considerably to think of, you don't have to, but it's all part of game, is like a taqaruf fi sin. So if you are, for example, 50 years old, you don't want to get married to a young girl who is younger than your own daughter. She's only 20, your daughter is 35. No. You want someone suitable for your age. You are 20 years old. You don't want a person to be married to his 20, 30 years senior than you or junior. So it's okay. There is nothing haram in it. But what I'm saying is, if you are within those 10 to whatever, 10, 11 years, you know, so each one of you think similar, feel similar, act similarly, desire similar things, and so forth. Otherwise, if the husband is 60 years old and he doesn't want to go in any outdoor activities, and you as the wife is only 20, how is he going to hold her back? You know, simple as that. So this is something very important. It's advisable. You don't have to anyway, but I'm saying these things are something you consider when choosing a wife. If the age is different, then it is more preferred that the husband is older for many reasons. One of them is that husbands physically can be active always, but the women, when they grow older, they may not be as they were. So this is where, if the wife is 50 years old and the husband is 50 years old, he may need to get married again, and she is not letting him do so. And this is where this discord will happen. Discord of marital problems will come. In marital problems will come. You don't want those kind of things. Barakallahu fikum. Also, you intellectually, what kind of person you are? Hot-blooded, cold-blooded, you act, you react, you are angry type of person, or you are humble and you have this kind of sabr. And then choosing your spouse, be that a husband or wife, based on that is very important. You know, if you are, say, for example, a man who is soft, there's nothing wrong in being soft, right? But the thing is, if you know that you are so soft and, you know, humble, that if you have a wife with boom, 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 you know, and not really hitting, but she will boom, 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 when she starts, then you need to go and buy a new brake to stop her from talking, you know, something like that. I'm not talking about this in any negative way, but I'm talking the facts. So what happens? This guy is going to be sitting at home and wondering what happened to him, what come and hit him, you know. So it's good to verify these kind of things. In an Islamic way, of course, we will talk about in Kitabul Nikah, what you should be doing when getting married, and how to look at your wife and what you can talk and what you can't and things. But this is something very important, barakallahu fikum, that you choose where you know that there is some kind of, you know, similar mizaj, similar way of thinking, characters and so forth. Another thing is related to body build, right? Say, for example, your husband is, mashallah, 2 meters tall and you are just 5 feet. It can be something very difficult. So, or the husband is just 5 feet and he's looking for a wife who is 2 meters tall. Husband is 50 kilos and wants a wife who is 150 kg. I mean, you don't want those things. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, no discrimination, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. The thing I'm saying is there has to be some form of, you know, similarities between the two. So even physically, it's appropriate in a relationship. Barakallahu fikum. For all of these, many of these things, of course, I have got evidences, but because of the time, in 22 minutes, the azan will be given for my Salatul Isha. So I have to conclude and answer your questions before that. Otherwise, I would have given so many evidences to that, even from the time of the Sahabas, Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in. Barakallahu fikum. Such as this one, for example. I haven't been mentioning myself. Let me at least mention this one. That Fatima, no, I don't want to mention this one. There is another one which I wanted to mention. Let me think about it. Barakallahu fikum. If I remember, I will tell you. If I remember, I will tell you. Barakallahu fikum. When it comes to choosing your wife or your husband, how can the two of you know each other and so forth? How much can you see and what you can and what you can't? Those are the kind of things, whether you can meet her alone or not, whether you can take her for coffee or not, whether you can be part of her social media or not, whether you can exchange photos or not, whether you can message or not, whether it is after the the two sides they agree up to what level you can or not. All these kind of things, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, will be part of what we will talk about, if not in next episode, then after 2 more, and that is after discussing about the rights of the rights of wife and the rights of husband. Then only after we know the rights, it may be appropriate after that for us to find out, how to go about that one. Wa barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khairan. Now I'm giving these 20 minutes, devoting it to questions and answers. Hopefully there are questions to be answered. Please be open with any questions which are within the topic. And if I do know, I will answer it. If I don't, I will try to find and give you the answers. Wa barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khairan. And I pray to Allah that you benefit from this, and I pray to Allah that I do benefit from it also. Wa barakallahu fikum wa hayyakumullah. So let us go for the questions and answers. Barakallahu fikum.
Alhamdulillah, masyaAllah, jazakumullah khair ayyuha Shaykh. Alhamdulillah. As As I said just now, that you are very excited when explaining this matter. Alhamdulillah, barakallahu fiik, alhamdulillah. ولذلك نحن نحصل على كثير من العلم الآن alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
But before I put the question from the audience, maybe I want to ask you first, Sheikh, because this is my question is about the hadith. About the hadith, there is a hadith said that that Iblis yada'u arshahu 'ala al-ma, summa ba'da dhalika yab'asu sarayahu. ثم في آخر الحديث أن الشيطان الذي يمدحه إبليس هو الشيطان الذي يفرق بين المرء وزوجه أو بين المرء وامرأته. وما المقصود بهذا الحديث? What's the meaning of that hadith, Sheikh? Can you explain me why Iblis? Yes.
Asking this question, inshallah, this is among those things which he going to come in the Kitab al-Talaq, Wallahu musta'an. But here it means that subhanallah, all what Iblis does is he has put his chair on top of the water and imagining himself like God. And then the shayateen, they go and report to him on daily basis. So when he says, I came, I made my companion become kafir, mushrik, murtad, mujrim, zani, sariq. Yeah. But the one who wins every time and is very much considered and honored and praised by the Iblis is the one who says, I did not leave them till I got them to do divorce, talaq. I made them divorce each other. So you see from here, it shows the importance of this relationship and the kind of anger and hatred Iblis has when you are able to maintain your relationship with your husband or wife. And that is why this relationship, to be able to maintain it till end, is very challenging. Barakallahu fikum.
طيب الحمد لله ما شاء الله بارك الله فيك على هذا العلم يا شيخ. هناك السؤال من المشاهدين شيخ من إندونيسيا، لأن هذا السؤال بلغة الإندونيسيا. سأترجم لكم بالعربية أولا and then please answer by English. السائل يقول أن لو كان يأتي رجل هو جيد في الدين، رجل صالح، لكن هذا الرجل ليس عنده مال، يكفي للزواج، فكيف للمرأة؟ هل هي تقبل هذا الرجل أم لا؟
Okay, we see that the basis, the choice first is based on deen, right? And the rest, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give barakah in it. There are incidents in the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam where the husband, he could not afford even mahar, apart from something very basit, very, very simple, something very cheap. And they got married and Allah gave barakah. We see that, but at the same time, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when being advised, he also advised like that when Fatima bint Qais radiallahu ta'ala anha, when she got her divorce and she came out of it clean after the iddah, she came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and she said, Ya Rasulullah, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, who later on of course became a Khalifa, but he wasn't a Khalifa at that time, and Abu Jahl, both of them, they proposed to her. Now, if you know that somebody is proposing, you should not go and cut off, of course, which means that they didn't know each other had proposed, or it was just a proposal. No, there was no concrete acceptance from the other side. So she mentions this to Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. Rasulullah, he said, Amma Abu Jahm fala yada'asahu an atiqihi. Abu Jahm, he doesn't put the stick down from his shoulder, meaning that he hits his wife a lot. So don't get married to him. Wa amma Muawiyah fasu'lukun la mala lahu. And Muawiyah is poor. He doesn't have money. So Then he said to her, get married to Usama ibn Zayd. We know that Usama, Rasulullah loved him very much. And Usama radiallahu ta'ala anhu was very young. When Rasulullah died, he was just around 19, 20 years old. And he had appointed him as the commander general to go to Tabuk for the battle with the Romans. And that is Usama I'm talking about here. So he said, Anki Usama, get married to him. She didn't like that in the beginning. And then Rasulullah said it again. And then when she got married to him, she realized how much of barakah Allah gave, and people used to get jealous with her because of her marriage to him. So this is what Rasulullah guided her regarding Muawiyah, and also regarding getting married to Usama radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and not to Abu Jaham or Muawiyah. So from here, we see that wealth does play a role. But if no other man came for her, and he doesn't have wealth, but he has good deen, and wealth should not be a barrier unless he has got nothing. He is not working, he doesn't want to work, he has got nothing. That's a different scenario. But if he has got some basics to make her live with him, or she has got some income, so they both of them, they can survive, and she is pleased with it, she can get married. But she has still got the right to think that maybe he is way above what is at least required, she may reject. But if it is just something basic, please go ahead and get married.
Alhamdulillah, Jazakumullah khair al ijabah ya Sheikh. And there is another question, Sheikh, from Sister Asri. He asked, as a woman, what basic things that we need consider and ask for the potential future husband? For the potential future husband. What basic thing to ask?
Yeah, basic essentials. First of all, you look at his deen, right? It's only natural that with deen, with your religion, you will be looking at other things, that in his beauty, he's someone who is acceptable, attractive enough to you, not someone ugly, missing one eye, half a nose is gone, or something like that. We are not talking about you getting married to that kind of person. You may not be able to stay with him, but someone who is average looking and within your limits. Unless you look like Lady Diana, right? Then I would say, okay, you find someone who is suitable like that, right? That's a different thing. Now, so average looks, average wealth, you know, and things like this result. So your most important focus is this. After that, ad-din wal khuluq. If you know through the family or whatever that he is someone, you know, who is kind and nice, and not someone who's angry and physically abusive, and a kind of person who is fighting everywhere and doing things. No, you keep away from those who have got criminal records and stuff. So this is something very important. And the same would apply from the men. When they choose a sister, when it comes to deen, Rasulullah guided us to other things, such as tazawwaju al-walud al-wadud, فَإِنِّي مُكَاثِرٌ بِكُمْ الْأُمَمَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Get married to someone who can give you lots of children, because I'm going to increase the ummah yawm al-qiyamah through this. So if you are given a choice between a girl who is this lone daughter for the whole family and no other children, and another daughter from another family who are about 10 siblings. So you would be going to that where 10 siblings are. If you know that this mother was not able to get pregnant. Why? Because that one, the potential, the possibility of having more children from that one is more compared to this one. Though you can get married to this one also. So these are the kind of things you will look. Same will be for the sister. To choose a man, for example, he's the only child of the family. You'd rather go and find someone who has got lots of brothers and sisters. You have the choice. Barakallahu fikum.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Sheikh. Alhamdulillah. May Allah reward you with the great rewards. Inshallah. There is another question, Sheikh, from sister also, Sister Halima. He said, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. When having children and parenting together, the real challenge of marriage seems to come. How can spouses work together during those stressful times? And are there any etiquettes for how to deal between our children and our spouses? is there any mention in the Sunnah about how a wife should behave to her husband regarding matters of the children, like their behavior or any stresses that occur? How should he speak? Afwan, how should she speak to or involve her husband in this matter? That's the question, Sheikh.
Okay, mashallah, this needs a whole lecture, which is going to be as part of our course, inshallah. So I can't be answering all of these things here because it will take a lot of time, but the guideline is there that what a mother should be doing for the children, what a father should be doing for the children, and what are the rights of the father and the rights of the mother, or the role the two of them they have to play related to their children, and how much of influence a mother has or a father has. All these kind of things, inshallah, we will discuss later on in the lecture. And after that, if it is not clear, I will try to explain it further, inshallah. But yes, the guideline in general for this definitely is there in Quran and Sunnah.
طيب الحمد لله ما شاء الله. إذا نحن ما شاء الله كأننا لا نصبر بانتظار إجابتكم إن شاء الله بعدين شيخ.
الله يبارك فيك.
الحمد لله. لأن هذا أمر مهم جدا. كذلك أنا أواجه مثل هذه المشكلة.
الله المستعان.
واصل السؤال شيخ. هناك سؤال أن كيف موقف امرأة التي تكون أمها تمنعها للزواج برجل مع أن هذا الرجل صالح وسبب في منع أم هذه المرأة أن الأم يرى في المنام الذي يدل أن هذا الرجل ليس بجيد، يعني كأن هذا شبه خرافة شيء. الأم هذه المرأة ترى في منامها أن ذلك الرجل غير جيد، مع أن في الحقيقة هذا الرجل صالح. يعني طيب كيف هل يمكن لهذه المرأة أن تتزوج مع ذلك الرجل مع أن أمها لا تريد تلك الزواج؟ وكيف موقف هذه المرأة؟
أول شيء, the first of all, related to the permission of being married, لا نكاح من غير wali. There is no nikah, valid nikah, without the permission of the wali, and the wali is a male. So the wali al-amr, the guardian whose permission is needed, is the father, and in the absence of the fathers, others will take place, like father's father or father's brothers, or your own brothers who are old, or your own son if you were previously married, if he's big enough, old enough, or something. Related to the permission of the mother, that is not a requirement of the validity of any marriage. However, the agreement of mother and father both is very important because of husnul ishra, meaning to live in peace and harmony and being nice and kind and fulfilling the regulations and duties and rights of each others. So this is where it is important. So if you think that, of course, that your that husband to be, or you're thinking, you may have very limited knowledge about him. Your mother may know something which you don't, or something. So this is where male folks of the family should be involved to talk to the mother to make her understand that what you are thinking is wrong. Now, normally a mother loves her daughter, so she wants what is good for you. So normally, in the normal case, you don't think that your mother intends something evil or ill for you. It is only something she's thinking is best for you. She may be wrong, or even you may be wrong. We don't know. But what she wants for you is good, and that's why she's thinking like this. But at times, mothers can be overprotective, meaning that they are thinking of it, overthinking, which is also another thing. Now, as far as dreams are concerned, dreams are of three types. It could be hadisun nafs. It could be something which you are thinking and then you see it in the dream. It's not going to do anything for you. The other is it may come from the shaitan. The third is it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At times it is easy to know it is from shaitan or from Allah, and at times it is very difficult. So in this case, I would rather advise you to go and seek support from your male folks of the family You can talk and sit down with your mother to make her understand. And I advise, don't go against your mom unless it is something which is exceptionally clear. This is where the imams of your locality will come handy, where they should influence your mother so that you can get married. But don't take any drastic steps which you may regret later.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, barakallahu fiqh ala al-ijabah ya Sheikh, barakallahu fiqh. And there is another question, Sheikh, from Sister Shahid Abdullah. This question is long enough, but I have to read it. Sister Shahida said that actually I am working woman married, having 4 kids. MashaAllah, barakallah. After lockdown, I took online teacher training course and started teaching online Quran classes. That means I used to have 2 days break from 5 days work. But now, Saturday morning, also I take class online and some other evenings also. But I do my house chores without any minutes. But I noticed that my husband is not happy when I sit online to teach classes, and he always shows face. And once he told me to stop taking classes, but I don't feel like stopping. I enjoy taking Quran classes. But I am working 5 days. He has no issue. But again, going home and taking online Quran class, his face changes, and which in turn made me lose interest in teaching Quran class. After that, we always fight back. I very small respond, and I cannot advise him if he wrongs. So I want to ask Sheikh, in this situation, should I continue to take classes or stop it?
Allah understand. Okay. First of all, this can be, look at it in a way that your husband loves you so much that he cannot tolerate to be far away from you for too long. And he wants you to devote your time to him. And it is only, look at it in a positive way instead of negative. You know, even me, I'm sitting right here in my office in the masjid, and it's only 2 minutes drive from my home. So many times, like now, Salatul Isha is going to, by the time we finish our Farida, it's 11 o'clock and it's 10:30 p.m. anyway. So I will, those days I'm early, which is straight after Isha, I will say, my wife, finish everything, so we will sit down, and maybe even up to after midnight. At times, yesterday I went from here at 1:30 in the morning because we had IOU meeting. So you see, so my wife tries to take our time so we can spend some time together. In spite of my grandchildren and my one of the daughters also at home at present things. So it's only natural that for the husband to request or say, look, I want, you know, more time with you, please take out some time, try to sort out your things so we can sit down together. These are the kind of things. So maybe it's something, sister, he wants more time with you and he's not able to tell you in a way which is more appropriate and practical. So you can talk to your husband nicely, or if it is difficult, write him a message or send someone to talk to him. Fine, I'm going to give you this much of quality time. I'm going to give you more time. I'm going to give you quality time, right? Giving more time is different, but giving quality time is more important. So if you give quality time, 1 hour is better than whole day giving to him. You are like this and he's like this. This one, sorry, this is not going to work. So quality time means you smile on him, he smiles on you, you share a roast, give it to him, he gives a roast, you cook him chips and he brings you chicken and sit down and eat and he feeds you and you. This is quality time I'm talking about, you know. Then maybe he will be, okay, right, fine, you know. But it's still, if he feels that he's jealous for whatever reason, after you explain to him, you tell him the rewards of giving these classes and things, still if he does not want, then your husband comes first here. When you leave something for the sake of Allah, then Allah gives you better. So the right of your husband is ahead of this. And if you are living for the sake of Allah, which is because you have to please your husband and his right comes first, then inshallah, still you will be rewarded for that. and maybe you will need to discuss with the local alim, and he will give and take few things before you come to a decision. Wa barakallahu fikum.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, barakallahu fiik ya Syekh, wa jazakumullah khairan. يبدو أن هناك ليس هناك سؤال آخر، إذن فليتفضل يا شيخ أن تؤتي كلمة الختام لنا، أو ربما أن تريد أن تلقي المحاضرة مرة أخرى، فليتفضل.
I can start talking, but nobody will be here. No, but Adhan will be given in a minute or within few seconds here. So the finishing part is all good. Remember, barakallahu fikum, those who are married, now after listening to this lecture, you people, though I have not given the rights of the husband and how you can be a good husband or wife, I haven't spoken about that at all, absolutely not, right? But now it's a time to go and reflect on how to be a nice husband, how to be a kind wife. It's your opportunity. For those who are yet to get married, this is a time for you to think and ponder what kind of husband or wife you are after. Wa barakallahu fikum. May Allah ease upon us and make us good husbands and wives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us prosperity in this dunya, and may Allah give us jannatil ala al-firdaus. ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين واجعلنا للمتقين اماما. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Masya Allah, jazakumullah khairan.
Barakallahu fikum, hayakumullah. Allah barik.
Baik. Baik, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. This the last, and then inshallah نحن سنواصل inshallah عفوا تكلم بالعربية. طيب. Inshallah we will continue our event about marriage life, the lecture about marriage life, inshallah, in another part, inshallah. طيب, نكتفي. طيب, this enough. I will close this event, inshallah. We will inform to you all another information about this event, about another part of this event, inshallah ta'ala. طيب, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.